Your legs are weakening right now. Every day, you ignore this. You're one step closer to losing your independence forever. But here's what the medical establishment won't tell you. 7 simple nutrients can stop this decline in its tracks, and most people are dangerously deficient in at least 4 of them. The question is, will you act before it's too late? Or will you become another statistic? There's something we rarely think about until it begins to fade: the simple, profound ability to stand, to walk, to move through our days with confidence and grace. Our legs carry us through every chapter of our lives, from those first wobbly steps as toddlers to the countless miles we travel across decades. Yet somewhere along the journey, many of us wake up one morning and notice that the foundation beneath us feels different, less certain, more fragile. I want to share with you a truth that medical researchers around the world have been uncovering, piece by piece, like assembling a puzzle that reveals a clearer picture of how we can maintain our strength, our independence, and our vitality as we age. This isn't just about preventing falls or avoiding fractures, though those matter deeply. This is about reclaiming the power to live life on your own terms, to play with grandchildren, to garden, to travel, to simply walk into a room without fear. The story begins with understanding what happens beneath our skin, in the intricate architecture of bones and muscles that form our legs. As the years pass, changes occur naturally. Muscle mass diminishes, bone density decreases, and the coordination between nerves and muscles becomes less precise. But here's what recent scientific discoveries have revealed. While aging is inevitable, the rate and severity of decline is not written in stone. The choices we make, particularly about what we nourish our bodies with, can dramatically alter this trajectory. Let me take you through a discovery that has emerged from research hospitals and universities across China, Europe, and North America. Scientists examining thousands of elderly individuals have found that certain essential nutrients act like master keys, unlocking the body's ability to maintain and even rebuild leg strength. These aren't exotic compounds or expensive pharmaceuticals. They're vitamins and minerals that have been supporting human health for millennia. The first and perhaps most crucial of these is a nutrient that most of us take for granted: the sunshine vitamin. Studies published in leading medical journals throughout the past year have shown something remarkable. When researchers at major research centers examined middle-aged and elderly individuals, they discovered that those with adequate levels of this vitamin had measurably stronger muscles, better coordination, and significantly fewer falls. The vitamin doesn't just help bones absorb calcium. As we've long known, it reaches deep into muscle tissue, where it enhances the synthesis of proteins that build muscle fibers, improves the communication between nerves and muscles, and even reduces inflammation that causes chronic pain and stiffness. Think of fast-twitch muscle fibers as your body's emergency response system. They're what allow you to catch yourself when you stumble, to react quickly when balance is challenged. Without sufficient levels of this vitamin, these crucial fibers deteriorate, reactions slow, and the risk of serious injury multiplies. Research teams have documented that when elderly individuals brought their vitamin levels up to optimal ranges, their muscle strength increased by more than 15% within just 6 months. That's the difference between struggling to rise from a chair and standing with ease, between shuffling cautiously and walking with confidence. But obtaining this vitamin isn't always straightforward. Our skin's ability to produce it from sunlight diminishes significantly with age. By our 60s and 70s, the skin synthesizes only a fraction of what it once did in youth. Add to this the fact that many older adults spend less time outdoors, and you begin to understand why deficiency has become so widespread. The consequences extend far beyond weak legs. Inadequate levels have been linked to increased risks of heart disease, cognitive decline, and a weakened immune system that struggles to fight off infections. The solution involves a three-pronged approach. First, gentle sun exposure 15 to 30 minutes several times a week, with arms and legs uncovered when weather permits. Second, food sources, fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, egg yolks, and fortified dairy products. And third, for many older adults, supplementation becomes essential. Medical experts now recommend 800 to 1,000 international units daily, though some individuals with severe deficiency may need higher doses under medical supervision. A simple blood test can reveal your current status and guide appropriate action. Now let's consider another crucial element in this story: calcium, the mineral that forms the very structure of our bones. Recent comprehensive reviews of nutritional science have revealed that calcium's role extends far beyond creating strong bones. It serves as the trigger for every muscle contraction, the signal that tells muscle fibers to engage and generate force. When you take a step, lift a foot, or simply maintain your standing position, calcium is flooding in and out of muscle cells in a precisely orchestrated dance. Research examining elderly patients admitted to hospitals with hip fractures has uncovered a troubling pattern. The vast majority were getting far less than the recommended intake of calcium, often consuming barely half of what their bodies needed. This deficiency didn't happen overnight. It was the result of years, sometimes decades, of inadequate intake, gradually depleting the body's reserves until bones became brittle and muscles lost their vigor. The human body is remarkably intelligent in its desperation to survive. When dietary calcium falls short, it begins mining its own bones, extracting calcium to maintain critical functions in the heart and nerves. Over time, this internal theft leaves bones porous and weak, prone to fractures from even minor impacts. A hip fracture in an elderly person isn't just a broken bone, it's often a life-altering event that can lead to prolonged immobility, loss of independence, and a cascade of complications. But calcium needs a delivery system, and this is where other nutrients enter the story. Studies have consistently shown that calcium works best when paired with adequate vitamin intake that helps with absorption. The most effective approach combines dietary sources with supplementation. Dairy products like milk, yogurt, and cheese provide readily absorbed calcium. For those who avoid dairy, leafy greens like kale and bok choy, almonds, tofu, and fortified plant-based milks offer excellent alternatives. The key is variety and consistency. Spreading calcium intake throughout the day in portions of 500 milligrams or less optimizes absorption. As our journey continues, we encounter magnesium, a mineral that most people have never heard their doctor emphasize, yet one that plays an indispensable role in leg health. Medical researchers examining thousands of elderly individuals have found that magnesium deficiency is far more common than previously recognized, and its effects on leg function are profound. Picture a muscle that has contracted during activity. To relax and prepare for the next movement, it requires magnesium. Without adequate amounts, muscles remain in a state of tension, leading to the painful cramping that plagues so many older adults, particularly at night. These aren't just minor discomforts. Nocturnal leg cramps can be severe enough to disrupt sleep night after night, leading to exhaustion and diminished quality of life. But magnesium's benefits extend far deeper than preventing cramps. This mineral is essential for producing the energy molecules that fuel every muscle contraction. It also plays a crucial role in reducing inflammation throughout the body, and emerging research suggests it may improve circulation to the legs. ensuring that oxygen and nutrients reach muscle tissues efficiently. The modern Western diet, unfortunately, provides insufficient magnesium for many people. Processed foods, which dominate grocery store shelves, are notably deficient in this vital mineral. Meanwhile, the best sources, leafy green vegetables, nuts like almonds and cashews, seeds, legumes, and whole grains are often underrepresented in daily meals. For older adults dealing with leg cramps, stiffness, or muscle weakness, increasing magnesium intake can produce remarkably quick improvements. Many report that cramps that had plagued them for years diminished within weeks of addressing the deficiency. Supplementation can be helpful, but it requires a cautious approach. Taking too much magnesium at once can cause digestive upset, so it's best to divide the daily dose and take it with meals. Better still is to prioritize magnesium-rich foods, which provide the mineral in a form the body recognizes and processes efficiently. A handful of almonds, a serving of spinach, or a square of dark chocolate can contribute meaningful amounts while also delivering other beneficial nutrients. Now we turn to a powerful antioxidant that many associate only with skin health and wound healing, not realizing its profound impact on muscle function and circulation. Scientific investigations published in recent years have revealed that this vitamin acts as a guardian of muscle cells, protecting them from oxidative stress, the cellular damage that accumulates from normal metabolic processes and environmental exposures. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at neutralizing free radicals, those unstable molecules that damage cell membranes, proteins, and DNA in muscle tissue. This oxidative damage accelerates the breakdown of muscle fibers and slows recovery after physical activity. The vitamin we're discussing acts like a shield, neutralizing these harmful molecules before they can cause damage. Studies have shown that individuals with adequate levels of this antioxidant vitamin maintain better muscle mass, experience less muscle soreness after activity, and recover more quickly. But perhaps even more importantly, this vitamin improves blood flow to the legs. It does this by protecting the delicate lining of blood vessels and helping to prevent the formation of blood clots. For older adults, many of whom experience reduced circulation to their extremities, this can mean the difference between legs that feel heavy and tired after minimal activity and legs that remain energized throughout the day. The vitamin is fat-soluble, which means the body can store it, unlike water-soluble vitamins that must be replenished daily. This characteristic makes it particularly important not to take excessive amounts in supplement form, as toxicity, while rare, can occur. The best approach is to obtain it from foods, sunflower seeds, almonds, spinach, avocados, and vegetable oils all provide generous amounts. A balanced diet typically supplies adequate amounts. But some older adults, particularly those with conditions that impair fat absorption, may benefit from supplementation under medical guidance. As we delve deeper into the science of leg strength, we encounter the crucial role of electrolytes, minerals that carry electrical charges in our body fluids and enable the transmission of signals between nerves and muscles. Among these, potassium stands out for its fundamental importance in muscle function and bone health. Recent research examining dietary patterns and muscle health has uncovered a striking finding. Individuals with higher potassium intake experience fewer muscle cramps, maintain better muscle strength, and even show slower rates of bone density loss. This mineral works in concert with sodium to maintain the electrical potential across muscle cell membranes, the mechanism that allows muscles to contract and relax in coordinated fashion. When potassium levels drop too low, muscles become weak and prone to cramping. The signals traveling from nerves to muscles become less efficient, leading to the shakiness and instability that many older adults experience. It's not dramatic weakness, it's a subtle decline that manifests as legs that tremble after standing for a while, difficulty rising from low chairs, or an inability to walk as far as you once could. What makes potassium particularly interesting is its emerging connection to bone health. While calcium receives most of the attention when we discuss strong bones, research suggests that potassium plays an underappreciated role in maintaining bone density. It appears to neutralize acids in the body that can leach minerals from bones, thereby slowing the inevitable loss that comes with aging. Nature provides potassium in abundance, bananas are famous for it. But sweet potatoes, avocados, spinach, white beans, and oranges are all excellent sources. A large baked potato, consumed with the skin, delivers more potassium than the often touted banana. The key is eating a varied diet rich in fruits, vegetables, and legumes. However, a word of caution is necessary here. Unlike most vitamins and minerals we've discussed, potassium supplementation requires medical supervision. The kidneys regulate potassium levels in the blood with precision, and taking supplements without guidance can lead to dangerous imbalances, particularly for individuals with kidney disease or those taking certain medications. The safest approach is to obtain potassium through food, where it's packaged with fiber, vitamins, and other beneficial compounds that work synergistically. Now we come to a nutrient that often surprises people when they learn of its importance for bone and muscle health. Medical science has long understood its role in blood clotting, in fact. That's how it got its name, from the German word for coagulation. But research conducted over the past decade has revealed that this vitamin has a second, equally important job, directing calcium to where it belongs. Think of it as a traffic controller in your body. Calcium is constantly flowing through your bloodstream, and without proper direction, it can end up in the wrong places, deposited in arteries where it contributes to cardiovascular disease, or settled in soft tissues where it causes stiffness. This vitamin activates special proteins that grab calcium and guide it into bones, where it strengthens the mineral matrix that gives bones their density and resistance to fracture. The science behind this is elegant. The vitamin serves as a cofactor for enzymes that modify a protein called osteocalcin, converting it from an inactive form to an active form that binds calcium to bone tissue. Studies examining bone density in middle-aged and elderly individuals have found that those with adequate intake of this vitamin, particularly in its second form found in fermented foods and animal products, show better maintenance of bone density over time, especially in the lumbar spine, the lower back region that's crucial for posture and stability. But this vitamin's influence extends beyond bones. Emerging research suggests it plays a role in reducing inflammation in joints, which may help slow the progression of osteoarthritis and ease the knee stiffness that troubles so many older adults. Some studies have even found associations with better muscle coordination and reduced fall risk, though the mechanisms are still being investigated. The challenge with this vitamin is that modern diets often fall short. The first form, abundant in leafy green vegetables, is relatively easy to obtain if you eat generous servings of kale, spinach, collard greens, and broccoli. But the second form, which appears more potent for bone health, is found primarily in fermented foods that aren't common in Western diets. Natto, a traditional Japanese food made from fermented soybeans, is extraordinarily rich in this nutrient, but its strong flavor and unusual texture make it unappealing to many. Aged cheeses, egg yolks, and certain organ meats provide moderate amounts. For individuals concerned about bone health, supplementation may be worth considering. But there's an important caveat. This vitamin plays a role in blood clotting, and people taking blood-thinning medications must exercise caution. Changes in intake can affect how these medications work, potentially leading to dangerous bleeding or, conversely, to blood clots. Anyone on such medications should consult their healthcare provider before making significant changes to their intake of this vitamin. Our journey brings us finally to a B vitamin that, while less celebrated than some others, plays an irreplaceable role in the health of nerves and muscles in the legs. This nutrient is essential for maintaining the health of nerve cells, for supporting the repair of damaged muscle tissue, and for ensuring that the body can effectively use protein to build and maintain muscle mass. One of the most overlooked aspects of this vitamin is its connection to nerve signaling. Nerves are the communication highways between your brain and your muscles. Every movement begins with a signal traveling down these pathways, telling muscles when and how forcefully to contract. When levels of this B vitamin become insufficient, these signals can become sluggish or misdirected. The result is often numbness, tingling sensations, and unsteady walking symptoms that many older adults experience but attribute simply to aging. Recent research has revealed that this vitamin plays a crucial role in preventing inflammation-related muscle fatigue. It helps regulate inflammatory responses in the body, keeping muscles more flexible and resilient. For those experiencing persistent stiffness or slow recovery after activity, adequate intake of this nutrient can make a meaningful difference. There's another critical function of this vitamin that deserves attention. It's vital for the production of red blood cells, the vehicles that transport oxygen throughout your body. Your muscles are voracious consumers of oxygen, especially during activity. When levels of this vitamin are low, you may not produce enough healthy red blood cells, leading to a condition where muscles don't receive the oxygen they need. This manifests as unusual fatigue after minimal exertion, heaviness in the legs, and reduced stamina. Fortunately, this vitamin is abundant in common foods: poultry like chicken and turkey, fish such as salmon and tuna, bananas, potatoes, chickpeas, and fortified cereals all provide generous amounts. For most people eating a varied diet, deficiency is uncommon. However, certain groups are at higher risk: older adults with digestive issues that impair nutrient absorption, those taking specific medications, and individuals following very restrictive diets. Here's where we must sound an important note of caution that has emerged from medical research in recent years. While inadequate intake of this vitamin can cause problems, so can excessive intake, particularly from supplements. High doses, especially when taken over long periods, can paradoxically cause the very nerve damage they're meant to prevent. Multiple medical authorities worldwide have reported cases of individuals developing peripheral neuropathy nerve damage, causing numbness, tingling, and pain in the extremities from taking too much of this vitamin in supplement form. The mechanism appears to be that the inactive form commonly used in supplements can inhibit the conversion to the active form the body actually needs. In high concentrations, it may even compete with the active form, effectively creating a functional deficiency despite elevated blood levels. What makes this particularly concerning is that nerve damage can occur even at doses once considered safe, and in some cases, the damage is not fully reversible even after stopping supplementation. The lesson here is clear: more is not always better. The body's needs for this vitamin are modest, around 1.5 to 1.7 milligrams per day for older adults. Food sources provide the vitamin in forms the body recognizes and processes efficiently. Supplementation should only be undertaken when there's a documented deficiency and under the guidance of a healthcare provider who can monitor blood levels and watch for early signs of toxicity. Now let's step back and look at the larger picture these nutrients paint together. What we're seeing is not a collection of individual supplements to be taken in isolation, but rather a symphony of nutrients that work together, each playing its part in the complex orchestra of human physiology. The sunshine vitamin helps calcium be absorbed, but without adequate levels, calcium supplementation provides little benefit. Magnesium is necessary for the vitamin to be converted to its active form in the body. The vitamins and minerals we've discussed all interact, sometimes enhancing each other's effects, sometimes competing for absorption if taken in excessive amounts. This is why nutrition scientists increasingly emphasize that the best approach is not to view vitamins and minerals as individual treatments for specific problems, but to ensure a balanced, varied diet that provides a full spectrum of nutrients in the proportions our bodies evolved to expect. Food is more than the sum of its nutrients. It contains fiber, antioxidants, and countless other compounds that we're only beginning to understand, all working together in ways that supplements cannot replicate. Recent comprehensive studies examining elderly individuals recovering from hip fractures have provided compelling evidence for this holistic approach. Researchers found that patients who adhered to Mediterranean-style eating patterns rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, fish, and olive oil had significantly better outcomes than those with typical Western diets high in processed foods, red meat, and refined sugars. The Mediterranean approach naturally provides adequate amounts of calcium, the sunshine vitamin, magnesium, potassium, and numerous other nutrients essential for bone and muscle health, all within a dietary pattern that's also protective against heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. But knowledge without action remains merely academic. The question becomes, what do we do with this understanding? How do we translate scientific discoveries into daily practices that can genuinely transform the quality of our later years? The answer begins with assessment. If you're over 50, particularly if you've noticed any decline in leg strength, balance, or muscle function, it's worth having a conversation with your healthcare provider about testing your levels of key nutrients. Simple blood tests can reveal whether you're deficient in the sunshine vitamin, whether your calcium intake is adequate, and whether any other nutritional factors might be contributing to muscle weakness or bone loss. Don't wait for a fracture or serious fall to prompt action. By the time symptoms become obvious, significant damage has often already occurred. Prevention is always preferable to treatment, and with nutritional factors, the interventions are generally safe, affordable, and produce benefits that extend far beyond just leg strength. Next comes the practical work of improving your nutritional intake. This doesn't mean a complete overhaul of your eating habits overnight. Such dramatic changes rarely stick. Instead, think about gradual additions and substitutions. Could you add a handful of almonds to your afternoon routine? Could leafy greens become regular parts of your dinners? Might you experiment with fatty fish once or twice a week? Could you swap refined grains for whole grains gradually? For those who spend little time outdoors, finding opportunities for gentle sun exposure can make a meaningful difference. This doesn't mean sunbathing for hours or risking skin damage. Just 15 to 20 minutes several times a week, with arms and legs exposed, during morning or late afternoon hours when the sun is less intense, can help your body produce the sunshine vitamin naturally. Of course, this must be balanced against skin cancer risks, which is why many older adults ultimately need supplementation. Speaking of supplements, if you do choose to take them, approach with wisdom and caution. Inform your doctor about everything you're taking: vitamins, minerals, herbs, and any other supplements. Some interact with medications or with each other. Some can be harmful in excess. Don't assume that because something is natural or sold without a prescription, it's automatically safe for you in whatever dose you choose. Read labels carefully. Many people don't realize they're taking the same nutrient in multiple different supplements, and the combined dose can reach dangerous levels. This is particularly true for the B vitamins, which are often included in multivitamins, B-complex supplements, and specialized formulas for energy or nerve health. It's surprisingly easy to end up taking several times the safe upper limit without realizing it. But here's something that bears repeating, because it's the foundation upon which everything else rests. Nutrition, while crucial, is only part of the story. The strongest legs belong to people who use them. Physical activity, particularly resistance exercise and balance training, works synergistically with good nutrition to maintain muscle mass, bone density, and coordination. The human body operates on a use-it-or-lose-it principle. Muscles that aren't regularly challenged grow weaker. Bones that aren't subjected to weight-bearing stress lose density. Balance reflexes that aren't practiced deteriorate. Even if you provide your body with every nutrient it needs, without physical activity, you'll still experience decline. The good news is that it's never too late to start. Studies have shown that even people in their 80s and 90s can build muscle mass and improve balance through appropriate exercise programs. The changes may come more slowly than in youth, but they do come. Something as simple as daily walks, chair exercises, or gentle yoga can make profound differences. Ideally, an exercise program for leg strength and balance should include several components. Cardiovascular activity, like walking or swimming, improves endurance and circulation. Resistance exercises using body weight. Resistance bands, or light weights, build muscle strength. Balance exercises standing on one foot. Hail to two walking. Tai Chi movements enhance stability and reduce fall risk. Flexibility work through stretching or yoga maintains range of motion and reduces injury risk. For many older adults, especially those with existing health conditions or mobility limitations, working with a physical therapist can be invaluable. These professionals can design programs tailored to your current abilities and health status, teaching you proper form to prevent injury and progressing the difficulty as you grow stronger. We must also acknowledge the psychological and emotional dimensions of this journey. Growing older in a culture that glorifies youth can be demoralizing. Noticing our body's changing capabilities can trigger fear, grief, and resignation. But here's a different way to frame it. Every day you invest in your health is a day you're choosing vitality over decline, engagement over withdrawal, possibility over limitation. Your legs are more than mechanical structures of bone and muscle. They're your connection to the world, your means of exploration, your instruments of independence. When you strengthen your legs, you're not just preventing falls, you're preserving your ability to live life on your terms, to visit friends spontaneously, to explore new places, to maintain your home and garden, to be present at family gatherings without fear of embarrassment or injury. The research we've explored today represents humanity's growing understanding of how nutrition influences the aging process. We know more now than ever before about what our bodies need to maintain strength and function through our later years. This knowledge is a gift, but only if we act on it. Some reading this may feel overwhelmed by all the information, the various vitamins and minerals, the dosages, the food sources, the potential interactions. If that's you, take a breath. You don't need to become a nutritionist or memorize every detail. Start simple. Eat more vegetables, particularly leafy greens. Include some protein at each meal. Get outside when you can. Stay active within your abilities. Have a conversation with your doctor about whether you might benefit from having your nutrient levels checked. Others may feel skeptical, perhaps you've seen too many health trends come and go. Too many promises that didn't pan out. That skepticism has merit. The health and wellness industry is indeed full of exaggeration and false promises. But the research we've discussed today isn't coming from supplement companies or wellness gurus. It's emerging from peer-reviewed medical journals, from research institutions around the world, from scientists who have dedicated their careers to understanding human health. Their findings point to something both humbling and empowering: the choices you make each day, what you eat, how you move, how you care for yourself, have real consequences. Your body is not a machine running down on a predetermined schedule. It's a living system that responds to how you treat it. Feed it well, challenge it appropriately, and it will serve you far better than if you neglect it. As we close this exploration, I want to leave you with a call to action, but not the kind you might expect. I'm not going to tell you to immediately overhaul your diet or start taking a dozen supplements. Instead, I'm going to ask you to reflect honestly on where you are right now and where you want to be. Are you satisfied with your current leg strength and stability? If you're not, what small step could you take this week to begin addressing it? Not a dramatic transformation, but one achievable action. Maybe it's scheduling an appointment with your doctor to discuss your bone and muscle health. Maybe it's adding a daily walk around your neighborhood. Maybe it's introducing one new nutritious food into your regular rotation. The danger isn't in taking small steps, it's in taking no steps at all. It's in resigning yourself to inevitable decline. Accepting weakness and instability as unchangeable facts of aging, because they're not. While we can't stop the aging process, we have far more control over how we age than many people realize. You have a responsibility to yourself. Yes, but also to those who depend on you and love you. Your independence matters not just for your own quality of life, but for your ability to remain an active, contributing presence in your family and community. Every fall you prevent, every year you maintain your mobility and strength, is a gift to those around you as well as to yourself. This responsibility extends beyond your personal health choices. It includes being an advocate for yourself in healthcare settings, asking questions, seeking testing when appropriate, and not accepting dismissive explanations that attribute every symptom to just getting older. It includes staying informed as research continues to evolve our understanding of nutrition and aging. Most importantly, it includes showing up for yourself each day with compassion and commitment. Some days will be harder than others. There will be setbacks and frustrations. Progress may feel slow, but consistency over time yields results that sporadic bursts of effort never can. The foundation beneath you, those legs that have carried you through decades of life, deserves your attention and care. Not out of vanity, but out of profound gratitude for all they've done and all they can still do. Every step you take to strengthen them is an investment in your future self, in the life you want to continue living. So today, right now, make a commitment, not to perfection, but to attention, not to a complete transformation, but to steady improvement. Your legs, your bones, your muscles, they're listening to the messages you send through your choices. Send them a message of respect, care, and intention. The years ahead can be ones of continued strength and vitality, of adventures yet to be had and experiences yet to enjoy. But only if you claim that possibility. Only if you take ownership of your health and make the daily choices that support the life you want to live. The knowledge is here. The tools are available. The only question that remains is, what will you do with them? How will you choose to age? Will it be with intention and care, or with passive acceptance of decline? Your legs have carried you this far. Give them what they need to carry you forward into a future where strength, stability, and independence remain your daily reality. The foundation beneath you is calling for your attention. Answer that call. Your future self will thank you for it.